Hey everybody, Wendy from Cinnamon Sweet Shop. As I teased in my last video, I am making potato knishes. So it's not a recipe I make often. I had been meaning to do a video for so many years now on this, but it takes a lot of time and there's a lot of pre-prep work that goes into making this. But we're going to start with the dough. Now all of the measurements are at my website, which I do have linked below. So I do have some flour. I like to use my whole wheat pastry flour. It makes it a little healthier. For butter, you're going to use, the recipe calls for unsalted butter. I use the Smart Balance because it's lower in cholesterol. It's a little healthier for you. This is not unsalted. So if you're going to use something that has salt added, you're going to leave out the salt or use less of it. You have to judge that to taste. But if you're going to use unsalted butter, which I do have at the recipe on my website, you're going to need salt, sour cream, and then cream cheese. Now, this is a low or reduced fat sour cream, and the same with the cream cheese. You can use a full fat. I just want to watch the bad fats in my diet. So in my mix master, I have my wet ingredients. So I have the cream cheese, the sour cream, and the butter, or in my case, the fake butter. And we're going to blend this until it's nice and smooth. And I forgot to mention, you want to make sure your butter and your cream cheese are softened at room temperature. So once that's done, we're going to add in the flour, all of it at once. And then I'm going to mix it again just until it's combined. I don't want to overmix this. I say that in all of my ingredients, but it's true. So now I wrapped this up in some plastic, kind of rolled it into a little bit of a ball, and I want to refrigerate this for 2 hours. So if you want to get a head start and make this in a matter of 2 days, you can refrigerate this overnight and then finish this up tomorrow if you just don't have the time in one day to make this. So to make the filling, you're going to need some potatoes. So I have 6 large potatoes, and I peeled them, cut them, and boiled them, and I mashed them. However, you can also rice them. So if you want them riced, you can let them cool and then use a ricing contraption or machine, if you happen to have one, and do that. I don't have one. I just mash them down with a potato masher. That's fine. You're also going to need some sauteed onions. So again, this is stuff you have to make in advance before putting together your knishes. These are both cooled. I have salt. I have some instant mashed potato flakes. I also have some garlic powder, some hot sauce. I prefer Frank's red hot sauce. You could use any brand you want. 2 eggs, and this is totally optional. You can use some shredded cheddar cheese. So I'm going to divide my filling in half and put this in 1/2, and I'm going to have some potato and cheese knishes, and the other one is just going to be plain potato. So we're going to use a large bowl, and I hope this is large enough. I may have to get a bigger one, and just add in these potatoes, and then add in the sauteed onions. Going to give it a quick mix. I went and got a bigger bowl because that one just wasn't cutting it. So just going to keep mixing this until the onions are mixed with the potatoes. So now I'm going to add in the eggs and pretty much everything else, but I like to get the eggs mixed in before I add the other ingredients in there. The eggs are what's going to keep it a little more moist. I'm going to add in those potato flakes, salt, the garlic powder, and then the hot sauce, and then just mix all that really well together. I divided my filling, and I'm going to add cheese to half of it. You can use any cheese you want. I'm using a mild cheddar. Just add that in and mix it in real well. So now I've rolled out my dough to 1/4 inch thick, and I'm making, using a pizza cutter, but you could use a knife, of course. I'm cutting into 3" by 3" squares. So you could either measure it or eyeball it. I usually measure it, mark it, and if it's not perfect, I don't really care. So I took an egg wash, which is really just 1 egg with a tablespoon of water mixed well. And I'm going to go over all of the squares with this egg wash. I'm going to use about a tablespoon size amount of the filling. Put that in there. And then we're going to fold it up. So I like to close it this way, push it in there, and then sandwich it up. Pinch those edges together. And you have your Knish. Then you're going to put them on a lined baking pan. You can use parchment or you can use one of the silicone mats. And we're going to go back over with this egg wash. The egg wash is what's going to give it that golden color. Bake these at a 350-degree oven for 20 minutes or until they're golden brown in color. Here they are. This top row are the plain potatoes and the bottom are the potato and cheese. What I like about this recipe is the crust is nice and flaky. And it tastes so good. These taste better when they're heated up. You can keep them for a couple days in a sealed airtight container. Just reheat them when you're ready to serve them. The recipe's at my website, cinnamonsweetshoppe.com. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Much more coming up, and I'll see you all next time.